that maybe I should have asked at the beginning when I set up the conference. But for the vendor expo, we had the tables and we had sponsorships. Then they could also sponsor a breakout or a break, and they could also do extra lunch tickets. Like if they were a regular table, they only got one lunch ticket, but they wanted to bring an extra person. What we noticed is they had to go in separately for each of those items. So if Debbie Kaminsky registered for a table, then I would have to go in and put Chris Kaminsky for the extra ticket. I could not do it all in one purchase.
Well, you should be able to. So maybe it wasn't. Oh, it's this one, right? The Lone Star Conference Vendor Expo?
Correct.
Yeah, it's because it's not set up. Yeah, see, you set everybody up as registrants instead of setting it up as a multi-activity event. This one this one is ideal for a multi-activity event. Basically, so, the extra lunch tickets would be items. So, when you set it up as a multi-activity, you have activities and items. Items are just a quantity of something, a widget, a lunch, power for your booth space, whatever it might be. Whereas activity would be something like, sponsorship of, well, no, actually that would be an item too. Sponsorship of a breakout session, all of that stuff. So,
so I should have done that as a multi instead of a
single activity event. Yeah, because you're right. Because setting it up like this, you do have to register one at a time over and over. And you can't, because you're preventing people from registering more than once, they have to register with somebody else's name. So here's what we figured it out.
Yeah, we did figure it out and we got through it, but I wanted to know for the next time or for another chapter in Texas, because we rotate this conference in Texas. So yeah, that's good. So,
and then what you're going to want to do, just if you have more vendors registering, you might want to turn off avoid duplicate registrations. Just because at this point, they're kind of forced to go in and register more than once.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So shall I turn that off?
Okay.
I'm going to turn that off and save it. So at least now they don't have to register under a different name.
Yeah. Well, and which I did. I just told them, I said, whoever's coming with you, register under their name. And so we got through it and it was successful, but it was just like, I knew I had to be doing something wrong, but it was like I was already 3/4 of the way in and I wasn't going to change. So just learning for the future. And then the surveys. So we want to do a survey for the Lone Star Conference. Over half of the attendees are not part of our chapter.
Okay.
So where it says on there to add a survey and I can do all site users.
Right.
Does that mean they need a login?
Nope. Any warm body who has the link can fill out the survey.
Perfect. You answered my questions impeccably fast. And I wish I would have asked the first one before I got started, but it's okay. I learned.
Live and learn. That's right.
Live and learn. That's how I do things. Never easy. So appreciate it. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So also just to jump in on that, we are putting the finishing edits on a multi-activity event video training that we've been working on, that Devin from the education department has been working on. So once that's complete, it does walk you through how to set up a multi-activity event. So I will let everybody know that that's available in our YouTube playlist. So just so you know. Sorry. All right, Cheryl, you have your hand up.
Good morning. This is Cheryl from the Tampa Bay area chapter. I've got kind of a two-part question. So I had an agency go in and add a member to their agency. So it does not charge them for the membership fee. So the first question is, how do I correctly charge them or send them an invoice to pay for their membership?
Well, there should be. Let's look at people options first.
Okay.
Charge for membership changes made through the profile is currently set to no.
Okay.
So if we want them to be charged when they add members, we're going to set that to yes.
All right, perfect. that answers my second question.
So do you want me to go ahead and set that and save it?
Yes. So
Okay,
that when they add that, it makes them pay for that. Yep. And that way I
correct,
can stop
yes.
auditing new members.
Yep. Now, we can fix that one just by, what
Okay.
is the last name of
Yep.
the primary?
Thompson, Thompson, first name Shayna.
There it is. Oh, she's a secondary. Let's find the primary. Primary
Yeah.
is Michael Sims. Okay.
Back to being dumb.
Oh, or Michelle. Sorry, Michelle Sims.
Yep.
Okay, so Michelle Sims is the primary. So basically, in order to bill for that member,
Okay.
really the cleanest way is just to use this icon, the charge credit. Click
Yep.
on that and just do a charge. And
Okay.
you can call it a miscellaneous charge. If you want to get more specific, we
Put
can
it in
go
that
to control panel,
description.
go to additional charges
Okay.
and create one. And this one you just call it charge for secondary member, something like, I mean, you can always go and
Okay.
change that. And what
Yeah.
was the charge for the,
$35. It's the amount, and it's for
Yeah.
their membership. Yep.
and then so this would be, it's not available to them because we don't want them selecting it.
Okay.
And we want it to go to membership dues, click on save. So, because we're only using it for these kind of goof ups here.
Yeah.
We don't want them to have access to do this. So you as the admin are going to go and you're going to go click on charge credit, click on charge for secondary member. It automatically filled in $35, charge
Okay.
for secondary member. The account is membership dues, click save, and it'll charge them $35.
Okay.
And you can, but in the description, you can even put in, who the secondary member was who was added and just wasn't billed for.
Okay. So I'll notify them that she has an invoice pending and who it's for. I'll send her an email as a follow-up.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. And so we shouldn't have that issue in the future because you changed that setting where if they add a member, it's going to automatically charge for that person.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Ebony, you have your hand up.
Hi, this is Ebony from the DC and IGP chapter.
Well, hello.
Hi. We are hosting our Area 2 conference coming up, and we just put out the invitation for our sponsors to, now pay for their sponsorship. However, we're getting an error message. One of our sponsorships is like $5,000, and we're getting an error that the amount cannot be over 2,100. And then it also is not allowing individuals to break it up into separate payments. So
Right. All right. Let's see, who are you using? Using us.
mm-hmm.
And you have to go up to $5,000.
We can just do 5,500 if that's, yeah.
Well, bear with me because I got to get this approved.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully we'll get this approved while we're on the call, but let's see. Okay, sorry about that. Once I get that approved, then I can make that change for you.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, thank you. That was just my question.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Sean, you have your hand up.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Sean from the Central Florida chapter. Michael, you helped me earlier this week with the scroller at the bottom of our page.
Yeah, I know. We never got that resolved.
I think it looks like you made another change, and I was
Yeah.
doing this a while ago, the first time I created the scroller, where it sometimes shows the last graphic and sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet where it showed the last graphic, so.
It should show it here because it like moves faster and then
Oh,
it
it
shows the
is.
last graphic. And then
Okay.
when you reload, sometimes it'll go slower and doesn't show the last graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inconsistent and I don't know why.
Okay. I guess my question would be, if I move away from the scroller and like just kind of put them into a editor, how do I change the size? Like, how do I set a default for the images so they're not really large?
Well, you actually have to do that on an individual basis with the images. So I'll show you if we go into where they are, because I know they're huge.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're setting it up, and let's say we're looking at this one, which is, you know, probably your largest image, literally right click on the image and go to properties. And then you can set a limit on the height and say, let's say you only want to go to a height of 350. It'll automatically adjust the width so that it's still in the proper ratio so it doesn't get distorted.
Okay.
And so just you can enforce it that way.
Okay, perfect. I think
Yep.
I'll try that and maybe just do and not use the scroller.
Yeah, that might work out best. Some
Okay.
of the organizations too will just create a special sponsors page and create a link to it from the home page, which it's not ideal, but at least that way they have full control over how the images appear. And you know, you can have like tiered structure and say this, you know, these are our platinum sponsors, these are our silver sponsors, these are our gold sponsors.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I don't see any hands up. Does
I have
anyone
a-
have any question?
Yeah. Hi, Mike. It's Mina. I have a question.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, the same one I was asking you about, I was able to run the report, but and thank you. I was able to run it in Excel, but I didn't see like the company name, like the agency names, like DGS, because that's the main thing I want to sort it by the company names, if possible.
Yeah. And that was for Maryland, right?
Yeah, Maryland. Thank you.
Log in. Come on. So if we go into data export, and we're going to use, let's do the third option.
Okay.
Did you do the second or the third one?
I did the second, so you can do the third. Yeah, I didn't see. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll try the third option. Let's see what opens up here. Here is work company right here.
Oh, yeah, the third option has better. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Bye.
Ebony, you have another question? Ebony?
Yes, I'm sorry. My mute,
Nope.
it takes a second. Well, one, I just put something in the chat. I forgot, like our platinum level is 5,500, but I forgot that ClubExpress adds a tax on it. So I just put, I don't know, 6,000 is too much, but yeah. Because I know when someone tried to purchase the 2,500, it was 2,505 or 2,510 or something. So that was that. And then the second question is, I called this week and Evan did assist me. We have old sponsorships up here. And he walked me.
Which chapter was that again?
DC and IGP. Sorry.
DC. Here we are. Okay.
So I was attempting to get the old sponsors off of here because they've been here for quite some time. And he walked me through the process and I tried to delete the headers, but they're still there.
This one?
Yeah, all of those need to be removed because they pay for, I guess, you know, to have their sponsorship up there for 6 months and it's been probably 18. So
well, here's what you can do. You can, if we go in and edit that page, here's your block where your sponsors are. So your options are, you can literally just, you see this icon, it means it's not visible anymore. So you can make it, you can hide it if you think that those vendors will come back and re-up. But if not, then we can just delete it too. If you just click here and click on delete row, you can delete the entire row.
So I thought that I clicked delete row. That's what I was saying. And then when I tried to refresh it, it still stayed up there. However, I know that Gov Movement is going to be one, and I do know that the Robert Bob group is definitely going to come back. I don't know about the other 4.
Okay.
So maybe I can just hide it. That's fine if we can hide it. I just don't know.
Right now it's hidden. So, well, yeah, see where it says current visibility is hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do the same thing here. So we'll hide this one too. So that one's hidden as well now. So if I go to save, make active, and exit, back to the home page, those panels are gone.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I may have to hop off on the call because I do have another call coming in. But when or if you get it approved, you could just shoot me an email. I'll try to stay on.
Okay, you got it.
Not. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, yes, I
Rance?
just got it approved.
Yay!
texted
Thank
me.
you so much. That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. Where am I going here? It's
DC chapter, yep.
you guys are seeing all the back end stuff. Okay, so you're good now. You can have 6,000.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Yep.
Francis, you have your hand up.
Hi, this is Francis. I'm the treasurer for the New Mexico chapter for NMPPA. And I was wondering how to
Is it
send out an
.org?
email.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of people that have not paid for different. How do you send one email to all the unpaid?
So in the emailing module,
Okay.
there's a distribution list. I'll just grab this one here. The distribution list is called I'm trying to remember which one it is. It is users with a pending payment.
Okay.
And that's going to send an email to anyone who has an open unpaid transaction. So that means that it's only going to go to people who have renewed, but who have not paid. It won't go to people who have not renewed. If you want to get those people who have not renewed, the distribution list is going to be people with an open renewal.
Okay.
They're active members in the renewal cycle. This one will do it.
Is that the same thing for when we have a conference and they're still owing their conference fees?
And well, in that case, I would do a different distribution list, because in the conference itself, because it's an event, you're going to send an event emailing. Let's see,
Okay.
we've got this one here, like for vendors, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in this one, we have event emailings. And let's see, I'm going to grab a draft. And the distribution list is it's unpaid members or unpaid registrants or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, all registrants who have not paid for this. Who have not paid for this event right there.
Okay. And so,
So
then you
basically it means they're registered, but they haven't coughed up any money yet.
okay, so then you just hit the add and it would automatically send it out. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then save. And then you can get an idea of how many people that will include. It looks like everybody's paid in this case, so there's nobody on the list.
Huh, there was the other day. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ginny, you have your hand up.
Yes, good morning. Question, Washington State Chapter NIGP, Michael, NIGP. On the job boards, I noticed that it does not show right away unless you have to hit like default. Is there a way we could just let it show up automatically what it is? That's on the job board. So if you just go to job boards from our website, like not through this back end, but I suppose let's start from the beginning, what my members see.
Okay, so
yeah.
And which one is it? Member benefits?
There, procurement resources.
Oh, there it is.
Job,
okay.
Jobs board, yep. So see how it just, you have to hit search Can we just have it go to default so it just goes straight to the results?
There isn't a way to configure that, and that is actually consistent with pretty much the way all of our other search modules work.
Okay.
So I think there was a conscious design choice there on the part of our development team, because they all work the same. You know, if you go into the membership directory, it's the same. You have to click search. If you go into people manager, you have to click search. You know, it just doesn't come up and populate. In some of the modules, it does remember, like that, you know, we'll store a cookie on the site that will remember what your last search criteria was and bring that up again, but a lot of them don't do that.
Okay, well, it was worth asking, because it was just annoying because I have to hit search every time.
Yeah.
All right, second question, under contact us.
Okay.
I
Under the
think
module or under the
sorry, just the front end. Okay, right here. So we have finally added the info at winigp.org, but I'm not seeing it from our listing. And I was wondering, how do we show that up? And this is a twofold. So we want members to just post whatever question for info.
So you want that to be the default?
What was that?
You want that to be the default?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that would be good. Maybe that's.
So what you do then is you updated it here. It's info at. So basically, now that it's there, when anyone goes to the Contact Us module and fills out this form, and if they use general information, it's going to go to info at by default.
Okay, so we don't need to advertise it up on top.
You really don't.
Okay. And
if
then
you want, you could have it appear there, but you don't have to.
Okay, well, okay, good to know. That's the different, you know, we have to put it in that mindset. So I have a couple of vacancies, but instead of leaving it like off and not showing on our website, I believe I couldn't use the info email as the default. It was asking me for a member. Yes. So I just kind of defaulted to putting my name just so it doesn't sit empty.
Yeah, if you really want to see those positions, but without a human, then because it does require that you have a member attached to it.
Correct.
So if you're going to have to create a dummy member and maybe just call the member vacant position.
Okay.
And put info at as for the email address.
Okay. Okay. How do we do that in the back end?
Oh, you're just going to go to People Manager and add a new member, and then give them first name vacant, last name position, or something like that.
Okay, literally. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then a couple of things. I just wanted to. It's more like a request on our page. If you go to awards and recognition, yeah, right there. I noticed that we have it like, how do we avoid all of this like white space and like really like it's just too white.
Okay.
Like, if we had to go get a tip on like how to pretty up a page so it's not looking so.
The problem is you're asking the wrong person, because I am design challenged. I'm a design challenged.
Okay.
But we do have. Oh, it is frozen for a minute here. Basically, in the custom page module, there are some templates in there that you can use to basically copy them and recreate that page in using one of those templates.
Okay.
I have no idea why this isn't working. Why is it? Are the other ones working? Oh, isn't that weird?
Yeah, mine went down as well.
Oh.
It's not just you.
Oh no.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh boy. I broke it. Thank you.
Either they're doing a deployment or we just went down, one or the other.
That was my question. Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Should we move on?
Oh no, it looks like we're back. So it's just, I think they're doing a deployment. Why do they do that in the middle of the morning?
Golly. Stacy, you have your hand up.
Thank you, especially since I'm Washington also. So while we're on there, one of the questions that I had was, we had somebody that went in and added themselves as a volunteer to my committee, and I wasn't notified. And they were able to mark themselves as the chair of my committee.
Oh, wow,
So,
that's bold.
I'm sharing it. But so when people do sign up as a volunteer, are we supposed to get notified? I mean, I'm not sure how they would just be hanging out, and if I hadn't checked, I wouldn't know.
One of the things with the committees module is that if the committee is open for signups, meaning members can add themselves to the committee at any time, then because there is no notification sent out, because we don't really have any committee person who is identified to receive those communications.
Okay. Can we set that up, or is that just generic?
It's just in there. It's part of the committees module that doesn't happen. If you want to have control over it, where people have to reach out to you to be able to join the committee, then you'd have to close the committee so that people then would have to reach out and say, hey, I'd really like to be on this such and such committee. You know, can you add me to it? And then you have control over it. But if it's an open committee, then people can come and go as they please. What some other organizations have done is they would use the interests module instead. So the interest module, you can set them up and say, you know, I'm interested in joining such and such committee. And you can identify someone to be responsible for that interest group. And then when somebody joins that interest group, they get notified.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then you can, if you want, you can move them over to committee. You know, basically you just say, well, okay, well, this person was interested in joining the marketing committee. So then you go to the committees module and you add them to the marketing committee.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's the best way if you want to get notified about it.
Michael, can you show us how to open and close a committee?
A committee?
Yeah, just for people who may not know.
So if we go into committees and let's say it's the Honors and Awards Committee, if we click on the pencil right here, here it is right here. Members can add, remove themselves. It's the very last option on the page. So if it's checked, obviously they can join and leave the committee at their whim.
How can they add themselves as like the chair of the committee? As
that they have to have administrative access. So whoever it was probably has administrative access.
It was a member that's only been there since October. I did not. There was no way we would have given him admin. That was just so strange.
Yeah, I don't know. And if they were part of the original information, then I may have added them. You know, if they were part of that original questionnaire that I was sent when I was setting up the website, I may have added them myself too. So.
Yeah, I think he's one of those long-term that left and came back, kind of, because his name looks familiar for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll double check the back end right now. I thought I'd removed him since she added him.
Okay.
Thanks, Jenny.
I don't see any more hands up. Are there any additional questions? Donna.
Yes, hi. Mine's hopefully pretty simple. I have one of my administrators, and we've noticed this over a couple of days. She is having this problem today and was also having it last week. She's active. She's an administrator. All of her permissions should be correct, but when she tries to load the control panel, it's blank. I've had other administrators on our site try to load the control panel, and theirs is fine. Mine is fine. Yeah. Another person's is fine. Is there, like, is it clearing a cache? Is it, what can I recommend to her to try and fix it?
Are they on a Mac by any chance?
I would guess not, but I don't know for sure.
Oh, okay. Regardless, all they have to do is hit Control-Shift-R if it's a PC. And that'll force the page to reload because it is a caching issue within their browser. So hit Control-Shift-R if it's a PC. If it's a Mac, then it's Command-R, and that'll force the page to reload. It'll flush the cache and force the page to reload.
Okay, because I actually checked my email and she emailed me and said that because I recommended that she try clearing her cache, because I thought that might be the concern, is it's a loading issue. And she says she did, and it didn't fix it.
Yeah,
And
well,
she
she
turned
needs to
off
reach
her
out to our
VPN.
support then.
Okay.
Because then they can walk her through whatever else needs to be done, and they can do it while they're on the phone with her. So, maybe they can grab some screenshots or whatever they need to do.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's hard. It's really hard to try and troubleshoot when you're a third person,
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't expect you to do that right now. I just was curious if it's like, hey, that's a known issue and clear your cache and it should fix it. And
yeah,
that's sort of what I assumed it was.
it should.
That's
And
why I suggested it to her. But
is the person working from home, or are they in an office?
I know they're working from a work computer.
Okay.
I don't know if, like, I believe she was in the office when we did it last time, because we were in a meeting and she was trying to load something, and that's when she noticed that it wasn't loading properly.
Yeah.
But she also said that she turned off her VPN, because we've had, at least I've noticed at some of our members who have, like, I work for the state and we have a VPN, and when I have the VPN on, we have trouble with it loading. We get a lot of like timeout errors and stuff like that. So we've been spreading that around, like, hey, if you're having problems, turn your VPN off. And she says she tried that too and it didn't fix it. So
okay. Yeah, it sounds like you've tried a few things. So yeah, I would reach out to our support team and have them, run their see what they can do as far as figuring it out.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep.
Dawn, you have your hand up.
Hey, good morning, Michael. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good. Hey, when I logged into the local Georgia chapter of NIGP, on my profile, my name, my email address is all correct. But when it's visible in the upper right-hand corner with that drop-down arrow, it looks like my last name is showing a double L as opposed to KIL. I don't know if there's a way to correct that.
Let's take a look.
Okay. I was trying to get our webmaster to take a look, but I hadn't heard back from her yet. So I thought, oh, I'll just ask while I'm here. So that's showing correct with an I.
Correct.
And my email address, even with Marietta, it looks like the I's are looking like L's when they display in the upper right-hand corner.
So it's the font that's being used then that's causing the problem.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, because the font is then converting the I's to basically sticks, which are out. So they're looking like L's. But why would you have it's KLL is the way it's appearing, not KILL.
Correct.
Right.
Got
it. Yeah,
and it's
that's
the same
totally
way,
a font issue.
Okay, and it's the same way in my email address. And also Marietta looks like instead of an I for Marietta, it's an L.
Yeah, it's like Marletta.
Yeah, it just looks weird. So I didn't know if and it's just schematics. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal, but if it's just for me and it's visible only to me when I log in, then it's fine. I just don't know if, since I handle membership, if other people are looking for my contact information, if it's going to be revealed that way to them.
The way to fix it would be right here, because we can change the font that's being used. So the profile name, instead of using Interstate Bold, maybe we use Arial. And then that should solve the problem.
Okay, and where are you at on the website part? Okay.
Font. Menu. No, not menu. Okay. Profile. Yeah, so basically I went to control panel, go to the website tab, and then website look and feel.
Okay.
And then on the header, click on the login profile box. And this is where you can set the font for the login link, the profile name, which I just changed to Arial, and then the control panel link, and then your favorites. So you can set the font for all those things.
Oh,
so
perfect.
For your profile, I just changed it to Arial. So if you log out and log back in,
it should show fine.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay.
Michael, did you want to talk about multiple logins and duplicates?
A good segue. Nice job.
Yeah.
Speaking of logins, yeah. we've noticed a trend, I think, where some of the chapters have multiple logins for their admin. So they'll have like an admin login and then they'll have their company login, which is totally fine, but it's causing problems. It's causing confusion for the person who's logged in. So I would really try to avoid having two logins in any case, just because it does get very confusing. So what I would do then is make your company login an admin account, which you can do, if you just go to the chapter tab, go to administrators, coordinators, find your second login, your work login, and then make it an admin, and then drop the second one, or the first one, that the original one. That's because, and then, well, actually, I know I'm stumbling through my words here, but the problem is that when somebody logs in and they're logged in as the admin, then they're not seeing things the way a member would. So they have their membership login as well. So then they log in as the membership and they're not seeing things the way an admin does. And so then they're reaching out to us saying, hey, things aren't working the same, or I'm logged in as this, but I'm not seeing control panel, but really you're not. And what happens too is that they'll have their browser set to remember their login credentials. And now browsers are very, very stubborn. So if you set your browser to log in as the admin, and then you log out and you try to log in as the regular member, what happens is the browser says, oh, you really meant to log in as the admin. And behind the scenes, it logs you in as the admin. And you are wondering why you're not seeing things the way a member would. And it's because you're logged in as the admin, because your browser is overriding what you wanted to do. It's kind of a pain. And it seems to me, that it's forcing a login that you don't want, but that's the way it works. So if you don't want to have those kind of hassles, I would stick to one login, or don't have your browser remember your login credentials, because that causes a variety of problems too. And the other problem that happens when you have your browser remember it is that if your login credentials change, like you forgot your password and you try to log in on a different computer and it sends you a new password, you go back to the original computer and it's still trying to log you in under the old credentials. And so it can't. So you end up with failed logins over and over again.
And we had some confusion with like renewal payments, right? So
yes.
Where there was duplicate accounts, and they were getting charged, right? Thinking they still had a charge that was being pending because they had two different accounts, for instance. You have to be able to remember to log in with each individual login and password.
Yep. Yeah, because there was one of the chapters had the member entered 4 times because they, and those things are going to happen when you're relatively new. But it causes problems because then that person can never reset their password because they're in there 4 times. And it becomes, an accounting problem because now you're the primary, if it's a primary secondary situation, could be being charged more than once for the same member. And so, you just want to keep it clean as much as possible and just try to keep one login.
Could you show us how to drop, just for if people on this call haven't seen that before?
Yeah, so I'm not going to do this to you, Dawn, I promise. But if you have, let's say Dawn was in here more than once. Let's say she had 3 or 4. The first thing you want to do is identify which one or which ones you're going to drop. And you're going to edit the profile for those. You're going to go into the basic member information. You're going to delete the email address and then save it. Then you can go back to People Manager, click on their status, active, expired, whatever, prospective, pending, whichever. Click on the status, choose drop. And then you can select a reason, a duplicate is going to be most common. And then if they have any pending membership transactions, you're going to choose to delete them. That way they're not hanging out in your accounting waiting to be paid. The reason
Why
that you
are you
delete
deleting their email? Sorry, why do you delete their email first?
Yeah, we delete the email first because the remaining login or the remaining membership, if they ever forget their password and have to do a forgot password, like if you go to the members login page and you go forgot my username password, it's going to ask you for your email address and your first name. If you're in there multiple times and with the same email address, it's not going to find it. It's going to say you have multiple records, please contact support. And so it's going to take you, longer to get what you need done now. So delete the email address for any unused memberships that you're not, any unused duplicate memberships. That way, if you ever have to use forgot username password, you don't have any problems.
So Michael, a question relating to that then, if there's two profiles and let's say there's activities relating to both, like something that would go on a transcript, is there any way to merge those? The
transcript, and I'll say in most of these cases where there's duplicates, there's usually one that's never been touched. It's never been used. So in that way, it's very easy to get rid of it. But if it's not, if it's one that if you go into the points hours history and there's a history there, you're going to need to reach out to me or reach out to support because we're going to have to do something else. The event history, the payment history, the transaction history, when you click drop, let's say I'll pick on this person here. Nope, we don't want to pick on that person here. We want a primary. So when we choose drop, we can choose to move all the transactions to another member and select that member's primary record.
Okay.
And that will transfer transactions, payments, and event history, but it won't do the points history.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Michael? I don't know if there was anything, Michael, that we also wanted to cover additionally today. I think
I know we had one but we moved that to the next one.
Yeah, for next time.
Offhand.
Michael, I have a quick question. So I just discovered this module called Email Account Administration.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed that it says account and then forwarded to.
Yes.
So I was able to change it to my info. Do I still need to create that vacant account, the vacant person that you were talking about earlier, or could I just do it here?
Oh, you hadn't even done that at that point. Okay. Absolutely. That has to be done.
I just discovered.
Yes.
Filling in the back.
I didn't even think to ask about. I assumed it was already created there, I guess. So.
No.
Yeah, no, that under email accounts, you have to make sure that info at is an existing email account.
It is.
And that it's forwarding to somebody now. So that's good. So you don't need to, I see that the light bulb was coming on. It all makes sense now. Okay.
Yes, I know.
So yeah, you don't need to have that entry in there then. You don't need to create that. As long as in name and description, info at is configured to be the default, that when somebody goes to contact us, that's going to be the general contact information.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't. Yeah, it totally makes sense now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, oh, it's this.
Yep.
Okay. So do we want to keep that? I mean, if we already have it as an email account, and I guess just for people that are like confused, like, what are you guys talking about? Could you go to that module just to show them what we're talking about?
Was that, which one was it again?
NIGP. Yeah. Washington NIGP.
There it is. That's Washington, D.C.
Sorry. The other Washington.
It is. Yeah. I got a lot of them open here. Southeast Texas. Did I close it already?
Okay. Oh, no, I'm the very first one to the left. Farthest left of you. Like the very first tab. It says what?
Okay, Georgia.
Nope, all the way to the left. I see Washington. It says Washington.
Oh, that's Washington, D.C.
Yep. Oh, unless that's
SGC
yours. Oh, I just saw Washington. Sorry, that's not me then. Just YNIGP.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, basically, if we go into the Contact Us module, you wanted your original question, I thought, was, do we need to create a title so that we could assign this vacant position to that? Or can we just, like, if there's nobody currently filling the vice president, how do we just have that and, on the list, and you can still do that. That's perfectly fine. That way, when somebody goes to Contact Us, they can see that the vice president position, it would say vacant position or whatever the fake member name you gave it. And then you could have info@nigp.org. But what I was missing, what I didn't understand or didn't even think about, was you still have to go into email accounts and create info@ and forward it to somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. Thank you for that.
Yep. And a lot of these chapters, some of them have their own email. Like, we were looking at, I think it was the Georgia chapter. Georgia chapters, yeah, they're handling emails outside of our platform. So when they go to email account administration, they don't even have access. There's nothing there. But in yours, because we're handling email for you, you have all this.
Yep. Yeah, and I didn't realize, even because I've had people to change, I had to go and take them off of this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, should we be monitoring both? I mean, did we set it up correctly, or are we making this too hard on ourselves to maintain
This
when someone leads?
This looks like it's set up correctly. I like this.
Okay.
Then when you should just be Contact Us, you're using the title, except in a few cases, we're using the member's email address, but you might not have a title email address for those, so that's fine. That's the ideal. So when somebody updates and leaves, that's where those, and then you're going to go to email accounts and you're going to update, who is now responsible for Lunch and Learns, and then you're just going to change the email address.
Okay.
So yeah, basically it comes down to 2 steps now, because you're going to change them in Contact Us, and then you're going to change them here as to where the email addresses are going to get forwarded to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for that confirmation.
And Michael, these, the Washington chapter has more than 5 on the basis that they're paying for more than 5, or just to clarify? Yeah, I just want to clarify for other people on the phone, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, you get 5 by default, but if you need more, they're only $5 each per year per email account. So it's relatively cheap to add more.
Well, I don't see any more hands up or any more questions. So actually, it will be quite a while until our next office hours, 3 weeks until the second Tuesday. But we will be doing this again on the second Tuesday in May at noon Eastern. And thank you so much, Michael. And thank you everyone for attending. And hopefully we will see you all on the second Tuesday in May.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.